Hello beautiful people and welcome back to the channel and to the video in which we finally have Neely right here and we're gonna analyze her from the battle perspective. So that's exactly what you're gonna see in this video. Further on, I will also gonna explain you in this video with which heroes you can use her and how good is she. But let's first have a look at how the hero looks like, which is right here. There you go, you have her with an exclusive level 5 right now, and we also can show you her full strength at 5 stars. So in order to highlight Neely's performance in battle, we actually need a point of reference. In other words, what we're gonna do first is establish a battle report with which we're gonna have to compare Neely's performance, of course, together with Brunhild. And that's exactly what you are about to see right now. So, dear beautiful people, before we start to analyze Neely with level 5 exclusive skill, we actually need some very strong battle reports from the alternative in order to have something to compare Neely's performance to. And that's why allow me to present you today's sponsor, which is Mr. TZAP right here. Thank you very much, buddy, for helping out. Now, I'm gonna present you here in the middle of the screen the setup and why I have chosen this in order to make a very strong argument. And of course, on the left and on the right, you're gonna see now two battle reports. But let's focus now on the way I have set up this test right here. So first of all, what you're gonna see is me having Gypsy level 5. Now I have two strong reasons in order to use that. First of all, once you see these battle reports, we're gonna replace Gypsy level 5 with a Neely level 5, and I think that's super important. And the second reason is my opponent has also a Gypsy level 5. Now, you are seeing me not using any skills on Mr. Striker, and except for his level 5 exclusive skill, which is also downgraded because I have a level 7. Why is this the case? Two reasons. First reason is I have to scale down my stats in order to have a very relevant battle report. And second reason is also Mr. WhatsApp here has also a striker level 5. Now, when it comes down to Brunhild, this is a level 5 exclusive skills with everything on versus his Snake Eyes level 5 exclusive skill. Now, let's have a brief look at the gear right now. So this is the difference, but you're gonna see it far better in the stats. What you're seeing me here having a debilitation on Mr. Gypsy, what you also see me having here 30% damage ignition. This is due to me testing something else. This will not influence the battle results whatsoever. And you're gonna understand this once I make a video regarding that topic over there. And of course, my Brunhild has a 15% extra magnetize and on top another 15% magnetize. And I have also 10% damage increase. Now, when it comes down to the heavy troopers, you see me using the newest heavy trooper for a strong reason, because he can also add these magnetic poles on my opponent. Now, perks are full. Let's now have a look at the stats, and now you'll understand why I had to take the skills down from Mr. Striker. So we are pretty lined up when it comes down to army HP and army attack. But if you have a look at the army damage increase, I'm slightly a little bit higher than him. But what you're seeing here, this 380 damage decrease versus 334 damage decrease, which is far higher. But guess what? This gets balanced out with the DEF because he has a higher DEF than me. And let's have a look at that right here. You see him having 45% DEF on army versus my 18% DEF also for army. So now let's analyze the two battle reports left and right and explain you why this is absolutely very useful information, because it would help us to highlight Neely's performance versus Gypsy. So why have I chosen these two battle reports right here? Simply because you see my striker and my Gypsy's performance being kind of equal to my opponent's striker and Mr. Gypsy. Therefore, what we are seeing here on the screen is more or less the difference between Brunhild and Snake Eyes, which was the reason for me to evaluate Mr. Snake Eyes of being more consistent, more valuable and better than Brunhild, mainly because of the fact that this magnetic pulse from Brunhild will always gonna apply that damage once your opponent is of course allowed to hit from that slot, which was always a bad idea. But this is exactly the thing which is changing right now with this new army hero, Neely, because if she is gonna proc, we're gonna have to see her proc rate. She will prioritize these targets with the magnetic pulse on and detonate them before your opponent has a chance to hit from that slot, which is far more effective and will increase the performance of Brunhild. So let's jump into these battle reports. So that was Gypsy with Brunhild and Striker. And what we are doing now, we are actually going to replace Gypsy with Neely, and let's have a look. So first of all, let's start with this battle report right here. And we're going to briefly go into the stats in order to show you guys that nothing else has changed. So you see my Neely with a level 5. You see Mr. Zap right here with the Snake Eyes level 5. Of course, Striker level 5, Gypsy level 5. And we're going to go further down and have a look at the stats in order for you guys to see that literally nothing much has actually changed right here. These are the army HP and the army attack. And also let's have a look at the DEF right here. Same thing, 18.3% on my side, 45% on his side, and slightly higher DEF of all units on his side. So I'm keeping this battle report, which is an absolutely very strong performance of Gypsy with Brunhild and Striker. We keep that on the left side on the screen, and now let's start to go through all these battle reports and see exactly what happened. So this is the first battle report we are looking at right now, and also at the same time we are seeing a very low proc rate from Neely. But let me explain you exactly how this works. So you guys normally hear us saying that a hero has, let's say for example, 25% or 27% or a 30% proc rate. That's the average actually, because the way these heroes are designed, they are designed with a certain interval of possible proc rates. So in this case, yes indeed, we are actually witnesses somewhere the lowest proc rate this hero has. And we're gonna address this later on in this video. So this is this battle report right here. Let's have a look at the second battle report. We're also gonna, of course, have a look at the battle animation. That's gonna be super interesting. Here you though see her having a slightly higher proc rate, but you're also gonna see battles here in which she's gonna have a close to 50% proc rate. That's gonna be super crazy. So let's carry on with the next battle report right here, in which I'm the attacker. And let's have a look. Oh, you see here Brunhild with a 260, which is pretty awesome. We also see a very nice battle report because of my Striker and his Striker are literally having close to the same results. But yeah, overall, he actually was a bit more lucky and won it. And we, of course, can compare this with the battle reports, which you see it on the left side. So let's go now into the next battle report, which is this one right here. Boy, this is also a very critical performance from my side. Now, this is kind of to be categorized as a accident. This can happen. You see a very bad proc rate, not only on my Brunhild, but also on Neely. So things like this can definitely happen. This doesn't make this battle report right here to be very relevant. So let's go into the next battle report, and we see again a very good performance. Now what you see here are 9 proc from Neely from a total of 30 attacks. A very, very close fight, actually slightly closer than Gypsy together with Brunhild and Mr. Striker. There's no question about it. Now let's go into this battle report, and I will gonna definitely show you the battle animation, especially the last 2 rounds, because it's absolutely a super funny fight, because we literally both died, but my units actually died first. So theoretically speaking, my opponent right here should definitely being awarded the win, not me. So it's a very awesome results. Now here we see a very high proc rate from Neely, which of course together with the 15 procs from Brunhild, that's a very solid performance right here. So let's carry on. We have 2 more battles before we're gonna take a battle animation and start to discuss a bit more how to use this hero, how good is she. Let's see here, we see again a 9 procs from her out of possible 30. Okay. But also Brunhild right here, she has only 8 procs from 30. So yeah, not necessarily a good fight. We also see my striker there with just 6 proc rates in total from 30 hits. This is definitely also one of these battle reports which don't necessarily actually tells us anything. Let's go into the last battle report and see what happened here. We see a roughly 30% proc rate from Neely, but what is sad actually right here is Brunhild with just 9 procs, but still overall a solid performance. So you know what, let's start now a battle report, actually this one right here, because it's gonna be super funny. And now let's carry on with 2 very important things. One of is how should the developer actually polish Neely in order to make her even more attractive? Because I already have 2 great ideas. And the second very important thing, of course, is which players actually need to unlock this hero right now and how to use her. So let me show you this battle animation of Neely together with Brunhild. I'm downstairs, my opponent is upstairs, and let's actually start directly with the feedback towards the developers. Guys, this is a fantastic hero, but still has some small issues which you can definitely tweak, and I think it's super worth it to do that. One of it is, of course, the minimum proc rate of Neely. It has to be slightly higher because we are experiencing some battles in which from 36 to 43 total attacks we see a total proc from Neely of 7 or 8, which yeah, it's not super nice to see. So slightly higher the minimum proc rate which this hero can do. The second most important adjustment is exactly what you are witnessing now on the screen. This hero has a proc hit and she can hit 4 targets. The problem is this hit is not necessarily high, but Neely's hit has a different goal: to detonate as many magnetic pulses as possible, and that's exactly what you're seeing. Often is the case that Neely will gonna hit the same slot 2 times, which is definitely not helping with her performance overall. In other words, dear developers, if my opponent has more than 4 slots, Neely's hit should not hit a slot 2 times or more. Good, so that is the developer feedback. Now let's jump to this topic right here. Which players definitely need Neely right now? So Neely is an offense buffing hero, and that's exactly how you have to treat her, especially if you miss the opportunity to unlock Gypsy. You most likely won't get a second chance, but also players on the newer server, maybe River Game is able to bring the Pacific Rim event to you, and there you really have to pay attention to unlock Gypsy, Striker and Crimson, because these are very valuable heroes, especially because they are universal heroes. Until you are presumably given this opportunity with the Pacific Rim to unlock Gypsy, Striker and Crimson, yes, you really have to unlock Neely right now and start using her. She is a great hero. Because once you have unlocked Gypsy, of course you can use Gypsy anywhere you like because he is an universal hero. So there is no point to wait right now, especially if you are waiting for a very strong offense buffing hero, and now you have to pay attention. This is just working for the tanks. So in which hero setup should you use Neely right now? Of course you see that Brunhild fits absolutely great, but if you do not have Brunhild, so what? Treat Neely as an offense buffing hero, and she is great. What I would suggest you definitely to do is use her together with either Striker or Shinji or Duke. And as a third hero, if you don't have Brunhild, use whatever you have at this point. This is definitely gonna work. So let me highlight you also something which I have highlighted in this video besides the difference between Neely and Gypsy. So what you're seeing right now on the screen, on the left setup, we can actually put there either Chingy or Duke, or you can use Striker, and you literally have now on the screen the best two setups for tanks right now in Top War. In other words, dear beautiful people, if you already have this setup with Gypsy, Striker and Snake Eyes, and especially if you are a low spender, especially if you are a free-to-play player, you don't have to change this. This March is absolutely perfect. Snake Eyes needs Striker in order to protect these units on slots 1 to 6. Snake Eyes needs Gypsy, especially if you proc from the first row. You're gonna have a way higher offense buff from Gypsy, and on top of this, yes, you also have the Shark Formation extra buff from slots 1, 2, 3, which helps Snake Eyes a lot. In other words, let me tell you this crystal clear. Nelle is not here to replace absolutely any hero. She is just an alternative for players which have missed the opportunity or not yet had the opportunity to unlock Mr. Gypsy. What I will personally gonna do, I'm gonna stick with this great setup, Gypsy plus Striker plus Snake Eyes as my main tank march, but of course I'm gonna rework my second tank march, which is gonna be Brunhild together with Duke and together with Neely. So let's wrap up this video with the last round of this battle animation, which was absolutely super hilarious because we both died at the same time. So dear beautiful people, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because it's absolutely super needed to motivate me to carry on and to offer pretty much all my time in order to make such videos, and also on top help players every single day in DMs. I will gonna have an extra request to you guys, especially for those of you which clearly understood this video. And when you are going through the comments on such videos, you're definitely gonna meet still a lot of players which still have some questions. So please do me a favor and jump right away and answer those questions, because that's a massive help for me, and also these viewers will gonna get a way faster answer. So anyways, beautiful people, thank you for watching, and don't forget to see me in the next very important episode.